Okay, here are the notes for sections 7.3 and 7.4. And in these sections, we're going to look at the volumes of pyramids and the volumes of cones. Okay, so we'll do pyramids first. And here's the formula for the volume of a pyramid. We're going to take the base area, which for all your problems will be the on the bottom of the shape. I know that it's a little tricky with prisms. And it could be tricky for pyramids depending on how they're aligned in the problem. But for all of the ones you're going to do, the base will be on the bottom. So it's the base area times the height divided by 3. So the area of this bottom shape, in this example here, it's a rectangle. So it's the base area times the height, and then we divide that by 3. Okay, pardon my mess up here. I originally wrote square, but this is definitely not a square. It's 10 inches by 8 inches. This bottom here is a rectangle, so that's our base. So we're going to find the area of the rectangle, multiply that by this 90-degree height here, and then we're going to divide that by 3. Okay, so the area of the rectangle on the bottom is 10 times 8. We're going to multiply that by 6, so 10 times 8 for the base area, times the height 6, and then divide that by 3. And if you work this out, 10 times 8 is 80, times 6 divided by 3. And if you keep going there, you get 160 cubic inches for the volume of that pyramid. Okay, so we again, find the area of the bottom, or this base here. So in this case, it's 10 times 8, or 80, times that by the height, times 6, and then divide that by 3. Okay, now here's another one. This one's a little trickier. Here the bottom, or the base, is a triangle. Okay, so we need to find the area of this triangle on the bottom, multiply that by the height, which is 10, and then divide that by 3. Okay, so this triangle on the bottom, to find its area, we're going to go 8 times 6 divided by 2. Remember, that's the area formula for a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 6 divided by 2 times 10 divided by 3. Okay, 8 times 6 divided by 2, well, that's 24, times 10 divided by 3 is 240 divided by 3, which is 80, and we get 80 cubic inches for the volume of this pyramid. So most of your shapes will look like this. The area of this bottom shape should be pretty easy to calculate, and in certain cases it may not be, but they will give you that in the problem. It'll say base area equals, and then you use that in your formula in case the base is like a hexagon or a pentagon or something you don't know how to find the area of. Later on in high school, when you take geometry, you'll learn how to find the area of more complicated polygons like that. Okay, so there's pyramids. Area of the base times the height divided by 3. Okay, now the volume of cones, which we're going to do in a second here, is really quite similar. Except for a cone, the base is a circle. So we find the area of that base, which may not be on the bottom, but you find the area of the circle, multiply that by how tall it is, or the height, and divide that by 3. Now I pulled this image here off the internet, and this includes the slant height, this L here. Now remember, we use that to find surface area, but we're not going to use this to find the volume. We're going to use this height, or how tall the cone is, this 90-degree height, this altitude of the cone. So it's going to be pi times the radius squared times the height divided by 3. Now make sure and use the radius. In some of your problems you're going to be given the diameter, so you have to divide that by 2 to get the radius. So again, if you write it out a little bit, the formula looks like this. 3.14 for pi times r times the height, again this 90-degree height, not the slant height, and then divide that by 3. Okay, 3.14 times r times h divided by 3. That's how you can do that on your calculator. Okay, here's an example, and here the radius is 5 meters and the height is 8 meters, and we want to find its volume. So it's going to be pi times the radius 5 squared times the height 8 divided by 3. Okay, or 3.14 times 5 times 5 times 8 divided by 3. And if you do that on your calculator, and I rounded it to the nearest hundredth place, the second decimal place, I got 209.33 cubic meters. That's a big cone if that were real. Okay, so one more time. Pi times the radius, or 5 squared, times the height, which is 8. They didn't draw it here, but this is a right angle here, divided by 3. So 3.14 times 5 times 5 times 8 divided by 3. Just do that on your calculator. You may have to round a little bit at the end, but there you go. There's your answer right there, 209.33 cubic meters. Okay, so volumes of pyramids, volumes of cones. I hope that is enough to get you through section 7.3 and 7.4. So please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.